So thanks again, everybody, for joining our webinar today. This is to announce our partnership between CSG Pro and Practice Engine. So I wish I could get some music and some trumpets and some dancers, but unfortunately we all have to be virtual. And so what we get is this awesome slide deck that I had the chance to build together. And so let me give Roy just a quick time to give the introduction.
Hey everybody, so I'm Roy. If I have not got to meet you yet, I kind of do things in the background at Practice Engine and Iris. My role is kind of to steady the ship and put things on rails and help serve you guys, create a great software experience, all the background fun stuff, chief janitorial officer, if you will. So at the end of the day, the goal of Iris and Practice Engine specifically on this, and how we manifest ourselves in the market is to be great at producing software, also really good at creating a data warehouse that's scalable, supportable, all those kinds of things. To be really good at those, it's hard for me to scale up and build a service organization that can meet the needs of firms, and especially given the modern day of data and analyzing that data and all the different shades of gray based on every single partner organization and structure at your firms are different from one another. It's hard to have a repeatable model that I can be both good at that and creating elegant, good software that has a great support experience, et cetera, et cetera. Given that, and hearing the whispers about such a company as CSG Pro, funny enough, in how the world works, started to hear a rumor about CSG, and then all of a sudden, Greg shot me a cold email with an introduction. I was like, oh, this all makes sense. And we continued the conversation and since have built up a great guideline or partnership that we're announcing obviously today. So I'm just going to kind of be quietly in the background, Greg, let you take the show and just obviously jump in. But once again, the goal is to introduce CSG as our trusted third party related to all things data warehouse and analytics on top of that. And Greg will get into the details on what that's going to work. But the value prop of working with CSG, of course, we'll talk about. But by us getting them up to speed and having some of our engineers, namely Tim and a few others, work with CSG intimately as it relates to the features and access to the data warehouse and walk through use cases and case studies, all these kinds of things allow you to not have to have those educating conversations. So the speed to value and the use of your dollar that goes towards fees, et cetera, are just quicker realized. And we have had a few different firms use a myriad of third parties, and that's fine. That's good. But we thought it was in our best interest to connect with someone like CSG, and CSG is proved a worthy partner, and we're lucky to be having this conversation right now. So Greg, take it away.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Roy. I mean, it's been fantastic working the Practice Engine team to get our partnership to this point where we can announce and really support all of its customers. So, we're truly excited to forge this partnership, and it's all centered around meeting the business intelligence needs of Practice Engine customers. So, to introduce ourselves a bit, my name is Gregory Petrosian, business transformation consultant at CSG Pro. We were going to be joined by our president and founder, Ron Ellis Scott. Unfortunately, he couldn't make the call today, but my colleague, Gavin McLaughlin, did. We are your core account team that will be working with you along your organization's journey for data analytics and business intelligence or data warehousing with Practice Engine. Ron and I's role is to act as your initial point of contact to learn more about your organization's needs, wants, and aspirations to better tailor successful engagement. Gavin is my peer. He will be the point of contact for Practice Engine customers that have signed up for our services and to guide them on their path to success. I'll let Gavin quickly say hello. Gavin, if you want to jump off mute.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Pleasure to virtually meet you. I'll be hanging out today and emceeing the chat, but I'm really looking forward to meeting some of you in the near future after this webinar.
Awesome. We got a pretty fun crew, I will tell you that much. So always bringing the energy. So who are we? Ron, he founded our company back in 1993 here in Portland, Oregon. Our lineage is actually in custom software development. So we understand a lot of the world that practice engine and software vendors live in. So that's one side of our house. The other side of our house is really focused on data solutions, whether that's data warehousing or data analytics. We've really rallied around the data visualization tool Power BI, and Power BI is much more than just a data visualization tool. So with those two sides of the house, what lives in the middle is embedded analytics, where for our customers, we can actually embed Power BI directly into a product or into a service. And for others, we can embed Power BI as more of a one-stop shop portal for external customers or their internal consumption. So we span a pretty wide breadth of services. The services that will matter most for y'all is that we can support your development needs from business intelligence tools to data warehousing and data strategy. Our services span a spectrum from collaborative managed services, if that's what you're looking for. All of our consultants, they are curious learners and fantastic teachers, truly. We're committed to the success of any solution we build or enhance the capabilities of our customers through our engagements along the way. Truly, we're in this together. I've never seen such a pure ethos at a firm like ourselves, and believe me, you will quickly learn that the more you get to work with us. So, I've had the pleasure of being at CSG almost a few years now. So hopefully you guys get to work with us.
Yeah, and sorry to cut across, and
yeah,
the goal
please.
of today's conversation is for Greg and I to bat it around. But one reason we were attracted to partner with these guys is because they're not, Greg might have got his haircut for today's webinar, but he's not like a slick Rick sales guy. That's not the point. Value leads the conversation, the partnership and the value you bring to the table. It's not this salesy thing. Sure, there are services to monetize and all those kinds of things, but it's, here's the options. And we'll talk through that today, but to reinforce some of what Greg talked about. I mean, they're engineer heavy, service heavy org, not a bunch of slick rig sales guys out on their golf courses trying to sell you an expensive widget. So anyhow, thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, I mean, truly, we try and meet every client at where they're at, tailor their needs. I mean, and we just like how, partners that we like to work with, honestly. Love working with the Practice Engine folks. And I'm sure, we've been around over 2 decades. We must be doing something right. And we just want to have fun along the way. And, riffing off that, being this whole better together theme, at CSG Pro, our lifeblood are strong long-term partnerships, both with our customers and our technology vendors. We've been a gold Microsoft partner over 2 decades and have built deep ties with product teams and like those on the Power BI CAT team. It's nice to be able to back channel at times with product teams when the need comes. Our Microsoft partnership, keeps our ear to the beating heart of change as we try and keep pace with their monthly enhancement schedules of all their Power Platform products and their Azure cloud. There's a lot going on there. And as you can imagine, the alignment between Practice Engine and Microsoft technologies was almost a perfect fit for us in the early days, exploring this partnership with Roy. Our cloud first and data warehouse automation heavy perspective led us to ties with products like Snowflake and Warescape that have paid dividends to the success of complex data warehouse projects and business intelligence needs, but we won't be touching too much on those two today. It's all about the Microsoft Kool-Aid and Practice Engine Kool-Aid, that is for sure. So what does this partnership between CSG Pro and Practice Engine mean for you? Roy alluded it to a little bit, but it means customers have a one-stop shop for all your Practice Engine data warehouse and data analytics or Power BI enablement needs. Our developers have become intimate with the Practice Engine platform, the underlying database, and their product team to deliver top-notch data analytics support for you. Furthermore, this partnership is this two-way street between us and the Practice Engine product team. We will routinely be assisting them in continued enhancement of the Practice Engine data warehouse and Power BI offerings as we work with customers to understand themes and limitations that we can help address along the way. And so bottom line, this partnership becomes a win-win-win for everybody on this webinar. So the Practice Engine Data Warehouse. What is the value proposition if you haven't heard of the product before? So those at Practice Engine have done a great job, truly a great job at standing up a data warehouse product and making it cost efficient for the customers. Honestly, we wish other vendors had the same vision and heart like Practice Engine to understand that access to your data should be liberating, not something to dangle like a carrot. From our decades of experience in data warehousing, which today is still largely stigmatized for big price tags and low success rates, and I mean low success rates if you look on anything like Gartner or any type of thought leaders, the typical implementation in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, along with hosting costs that come additional to that. Not to mention to the breadth of in-house expertise needed or consultative guidance you might need to make a data warehouse project a success. If you were to take on such an effort, you need to untangle and document the Practice Engine main database, which is costly and complex. As Practice Engine rolls out new features, your data warehouse team will need to respond to them. I'm not here to be, pandering fear tactics. Really, this is just the reality of data warehousing. It's the world we live in, so we get it. And so, when I heard and we learned more about this Practice Engine data warehouse product, the cost of it, and we're like, wow, that's an amazing solution. The Practice Engine data warehouse comes at a shockingly low price than all the things I just mentioned earlier. And fortunately for you, Practice Engine does all the hosting of the product in a cloud environment with no fees. The true value that this product gives you is a strong foundation that is modeled in a consumable way for BI products, whether it's Power BI, Excel, or other tools. It's just curated data ready to consume. As simple as that. And so having access to your data is great, but deciding where to go from there is a big open question. Practice Engine is stopping short of a full turnkey solution because they don't pretend to know exactly how you want to see your data, given the uniqueness of each firm. So they're giving you the full capability to shape and view your data that fits your organization. And in turn, this puts the onus on you to put your data to work. Practice Engine has given you the first critical component, but leaves it up to you to make the consumable layer on top of that. Getting back to this partnership, that's really why we're here. Practice Engine saw the benefit of having our expertise and our assistance as being the other piece of this data puzzle. So whether you're using the Practice Engine data warehouse as a building block for your enterprise data warehouse or build out your semantic layer fully in Power BI, this is an awesome starting point. Anything you want to touch on there, Roy, before I move to Power BI?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think what we're trying to do is, one reason you're on Practice Engine and not with, I'll just go ahead and say the name, CCH or Talent, is getting access to data and make it usable and do things for you. Making it usable and do things for you is a question of labor and process orientated with that. So we want to be a vendor that doesn't hold the data, doesn't lock things down. We want to be open oriented. May the best product win, not be the best vendor or sorry, the biggest vendor with the biggest pockets win. So giving you guys access and making it, once again, more consumable via a warehouse versus touching the live database that's in production, which could cause obvious issues in numerous ways, just makes sense. And in the past, we've had quote unquote free versions of the data warehouse, just to be honest. And those versions of the data warehouse had a hard time we couldn't really support it at scale. And now that we're charging for it and have it on a roadmap, and we're partnering with someone like CSG, we can continue building the value prop and adding value in consistently and support it consistently. But once again, giving you guys access to a tool like this or a team like this with CSG is it's a great marriage in the sense that you are asking us for this. We haven't been able to serve your needs with the Power BI data analytics side. So once again, keep going, Greg, and I'll shut up for a little bit.
Gotcha. Well, I think you kind of got to my next to why Power BI, or what is Power BI? So did Practice Engine choose Power BI because it was the cheapest product on the market and it came with their Office Enterprise licensing? That's tantalizing, but no. Power BI is the most intelligent choice you could make for the following reasons. For price, Roy mentioned openness. Power BI is leading in innovation, so like worldwide adoption. I mean, it's on fire right now as a product, and also has great embedding capabilities. That's just a few compelling reasons. Gavin's going to drop a few links in the chat. There was a Gartner Magic Quadrant, which Power BI has been leading for the past couple of years. And Power BI is this full suite BI platform. I wrote a blog post just comparing all the different BI platforms out there. Could be a good read. But just around that, Practice Engine recommends Power BI, and that is what we support. But you can still bolt on whatever reporting tool you want. You're not being forced into Power BI, although we recognize this to be the best tool.
And the licensing and how to consume it, what is it? On top of an E3 Office 365 license is what, another $5 a user a month or $15 a user a month, something like that?
It's $10 a user a month, and that's for the pro licensing. There's the whole premium licensing, and then Microsoft's also coming out this premium per user licensing model. When you look at organizations sub 500 users, the pro licensing is an amazing, cost, to value. You can also think about, Power BI embedded in some senses, but honestly, the Power BI Pro licensing model is pretty amazing. So what is Power BI? If this is your first time hearing about this tool, Power BI is a single platform and development tool for connecting to your data, modeling it, visualizing, and securely distributing reports. All other BI tools on the market address one or a couple of these needs very well, but none can match the depth and breadth of Power BI capabilities and those that they bring to your organization. If you haven't touched a Power BI report before, Gavin's going to drop another link in the chat. You can have this is our sample sales analytic report that we've publicly published. And you can see the fully immersive self-service analytics and interactive features that a Power BI report gives you just out of the box. You can click to use slicers, slice and dice your data. You can drill down data granularity, find the answers to your business questions without having to call IT or open an Excel sheet and figure it out. All of that is at your fingertips. I won't be demoing Power BI today, but feel free to schedule time with us after the webinar or join one of our monthly free trainings to get some experience. And there'll be more to come on that. All right, I was waiting for this part because this is one of my favorites. Power BI this, Power BI that. What about Excel? Excel was my first love, and if I know firms like yourselves, then you probably love Excel too. Fortunately, so does Power BI. Microsoft's answer to the Excel hell, you calculated revenue this way from one workbook or one person to another, or you fat fingered a cell and you got all those broken references. I mean, that's what keeps me up at night. And so what Power BI has done is really abstracted this development layer from the consumption layer and has built this whole service, which is called powerbi.com, where you can share reports, you can collaborate, you can comment, you can build data sets. There's just so much to it. And so furthermore, Power BI data sets act as the single source of truth, not only for Power BI reports, they can be the source of truth for your Excel sheets. The Get Data button in Excel, called Power Query, is the same button and engine you get in Power BI. So it's nice having that redundancy. There's a Analyze in Excel feature in powerbi.com that turns any data set you have into a live connected pivot table. So what's not to love? Your investment in Power BI will pay dividends for an organization that knows and loves Excel. Another great point to bring up, free resources. Who doesn't love free resources? What resources are available to you as you embark on this data-driven journey? We love to give away our secret sauce all the time and have a wealth of free materials at your fingertips right on our website. You can sign up for one of our top-rated and free Dashboard in a Day trainings that we host with Microsoft every month. This training is an end-to-end self-paced development where you go from developing a report, publishing a report, and learning everything along the way there. Let's say you don't have time for live training. Who's got time to get out of the office time? You need to do some training on the weekend. No problem. You can watch our self-paced videos, whether it's on Dashboard in a Day. We have self-paced videos on elements of DAX by our amazing teacher, Brian Grant. Then we've also built videos for the business users. You spend all this time building a Power BI report, business, but the first time your business users log into PowerBI.com, they have no idea what to do or how to interact with this report. So we built, a really quick user series of a series of videos that you can point your business users to get free training and to kind of get going. We're also.
I'll jump.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll jump across if you don't mind. I mean, I call this. I used to call it the Paula Deen effect, but I'll call it the Aaron Franklin effect now. So Central Texas barbecue guy. He's got a cookbook. He sells YouTube videos where you can go watch how he smokes his brisket. And I'm from Texas, so I pride myself on, smoking meats during the weekends. All that to say, if I'm in Central Texas, I'll go wait in line for 4 hours to consume his barbecue, even though he told me how to cook it myself. And he built a relationship with me by showing me how to cook it on my own on the weekends. And anybody that is good at their craft and willing to share what makes them good and teach you about it, and doesn't mind that you go do it for yourself and never consume them and never pay them a dime, but they just do it because that's just their ethos. Like, that's exactly why we're in this conversation. But exactly also, some people on this call are intelligent to do something on their own and may just need a backstop from time to time. But this is part of the partnership that attracts us. Some of our firms will never call Greg up to do anything with CSG, and quote unquote, that's fine if that's your thing. But for a lot of the firms, they need someone expert level to jump in and just come and augment the labor so they don't have to do it. So once again, back to you.
Yeah, and to that point, I think just centering around the ethos of our firm and just what we like to give away. I mean, we've been proud organizers of this planet. We were just so passionate about this tool. I think we started it back when Power Pivot or Power Query was just a plugin within Excel. I mean, Ron had the vision. He was like, this is the beginning of something big. And for us, empowering our community, empowering those around us, whether they want to give us a dime or not. I mean, it's all feeding to the same pot that we are all working within. So, whatever we can do to give you guys free information and not feel like your back's against the wall as you're going through this, I mean, that's what it's all about. So, love to have anybody on this call joining us for our monthly meetups where we have these Power BI MVPs or thought leaders giving free in-depth sessions on a variety of topics. You can subscribe to our weekly newsletter that Gavin's going to drop in the chat. We just once a week, you'll get an email. Stay tuned on our blogs, video tutorials, references, and events. We try and encapsulate all that, and so you don't have to keep up to pace. And Power BI, this is a tool that changes every month. I mean, for us as consultants, almost drives us crazy because we have to learn a new product all the time, but that's what feeds us. I mean, for me, I'm a curious learner. If I had to work with the same tool that didn't change every other year, I probably wouldn't be in this position. So, what does a roadmap look like, if you were to engage with us? After the typical roadmap would be, after you've purchased the practice engine data warehouse and your install date has been set by D or somebody else. Step one will be to schedule a 1.5 hour orientation, which is free. It's a session where we will walk you through all the technical details, the data warehouse. We will walk you through the Power BI report bundle, publishing, and everything you need to know to take advantage of the tool set, along with just reminding you all the resources that we have at your disposal. So after orientation, next you've decided Power BI is your reporting tool. or you have other data sources that you'd want to integrate with the Practice Engine data warehouse. So that next step is to scope an engagement with us where we explore options and understand what your high value reporting needs are. Gone are the days of if you can build it, they will come. Finding, the low hanging fruit and being able to deliver value quickly and consistently. That's how we've found success in this BI space. And so we've put together a really simple template that you can fill out that'll help aid us in the scoping process. And, it's all pretty low ceremony. After we get through this first engagement together, we built some awesome reports or, figured out what is the path of your organization. After this successful engagement, step 3 is to accelerate your data-driven goals and strategy. And we do this by tailoring an ongoing engagement that just works best for you. I was talking about the spectrum of, do you want fully managed services? Do you want us working over your shoulder and just kind of being there as ad hoc support? Or do you want to work collaboratively where it's more of a mixed team approach where we have a consultant dedicated to you working with you and we just stay in touch? Honestly, voila, that's kind of our secret sauce. Not to sound like a used car salesman, but this webinar wouldn't be complete without some special offers. For those that haven't purchased Practice Engine Data Warehouse yet, we are going to be discounting 4 days of our Power BI report development in half for the next 2 customers that are able to purchase the product. We are also offering, to Roy's point, we're not coin operated, but just a free 30-minute consultation on Power BI, your questions, licensing, any other Power Platform questions. Reach out to us. We can demo features. Gavin and I will be able to help you take advantage of whatever opportunity that we can. And with that, let's see, what time is it? 30 minutes. We made pretty good time, and that's a. Before we get into QA, I just really want to thank all of you that were able to take the time to be with us today that are great and loyal Practice Engine customers. We hope to get the chance to work with you and make the most of your data analytics space.